After the age of 60, every step you take matters more than you think. Doctors used to say that walking was the gold standard for seniors. And don't get me wrong, walking is wonderful. But new science is revealing something shocking. Walking alone may not be enough to protect your heart, your brain, and your muscles as you age. In fact, if walking is your only form of exercise, you could be missing out on the exact movements that slow aging, prevent deadly falls, and even add decades to your life. A major study from Harvard followed over 100,000 older adults and found that those who combined walking with specific muscle-strengthening exercises reduced their risk of early death by up to 47%. Another report in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society showed that seniors who did these types of activities had sharper memory, stronger bones, and lower risk of dementia. Imagine reaching 90 or even 100. Not frail, not dependent, but vibrant, climbing stairs without pain, carrying groceries without fear of falling, playing with grandchildren without exhaustion. That future is not just for the lucky few. It's for anyone who knows the right movements to add to their daily routine. And today, I'm going to show you the 5 exercises that are not only better than walking, but scientifically proven to help you extend your life, protect your independence, and feel younger than your age. These are simple, safe, and require little to no equipment, but the impact they can have on your body is extraordinary. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll know exactly how to move today to live decades longer tomorrow. Exercise number 1. Squats. The secret to rebuilding strength after 60. If there is one exercise that has the power to predict how long you will live and how independent you will remain after 60, it is the squat. At first glance, it may look simple, almost too simple. But science is crystal clear. The ability to sit down and stand back up without support is one of the strongest markers of longevity. Researchers in Brazil studied more than 2,000 men and women between the ages of 51 and 80. What they discovered shocked even the scientists. Those who could perform a controlled squat, lowering themselves to the ground and standing up again, were far less likely to die prematurely in the next 6 years. And here's the kicker. The difference wasn't small. Seniors who failed this basic test had a mortality rate up to 5 times higher than those who could. That is how powerful this movement is. Why does the squat matter so much? Because it mimics the very movements you use every single day. Getting up from bed in the morning, lowering into a chair at dinner, rising from the toilet, bending down to pick something up, these are all squats in disguise. When your legs, hips, and core muscles are strong, these actions feel effortless. But when those muscles weaken, even the smallest task becomes a battle. Weakness in the thighs and hips leads directly to instability, falls, and fractures. And we know that for seniors, a hip fracture can be catastrophic. It often marks the beginning of rapid decline, loss of independence, and in many cases, early death. Squats are your best defense against that spiral. Now, many people think, but I walk every day. Isn't that enough? Unfortunately, no. Walking is excellent for cardiovascular health and circulation, but it does little to build or preserve deep muscle strength. Walking is a repetitive, low-resistance activity. It does not challenge your largest muscle groups, the quadriceps, glutes, and hamstrings, the way squats do. Without resistance, those muscles slowly shrink in a process called sarcopenia, which accelerates after age 60. That's why so many older adults find themselves slower, weaker, and less steady on their feet year after year. Squats directly fight sarcopenia by forcing your muscles to engage under the load of your own body weight, stimulating growth and repair at the cellular level. There's also something most people don't realize. Squats don't just strengthen the body, they also strengthen the brain. A fascinating study from Japan followed older adults who performed squat exercises just 3 times a week. Within 3 months, these seniors not only walked faster and climbed stairs with more ease, brain scans showed increased blood flow to the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory and learning. Their cognitive scores improved measurably, meaning squats actually helped keep dementia at bay. That is extraordinary. A simple leg exercise that protects your brain as much as your muscles. And don't forget the heart. Squats are one of the most efficient ways to stimulate cardiovascular health without running or high-impact activity. Because the exercise recruits such large muscle groups, the heart must pump harder, sending oxygen-rich blood throughout the body. Over time, this improves circulation, lowers blood pressure, and even increases lung capacity. It's like a full-body reset, packaged in one deceptively simple movement. You don't need to go to a gym or lift heavy weights to benefit. Even something as straightforward as chair squats, repeatedly sitting down and standing up from a sturdy chair, can transform your strength. Over time, you can make it more challenging. Pause halfway down, add a gentle weight, or simply extend your arms in front of you to engage the core. What matters most is consistency. Every repetition you perform is an investment in your independence, your safety, and your future. Imagine yourself at 80 or even 90. Do you want to be the person who needs help standing up, or the one who rises with confidence and keeps moving forward? Squats make that difference. And the beauty is that it's never too late to start. Studies show that even seniors in their late 70s and 80s gained remarkable improvements in strength and balance after just weeks of practice. Your muscles are always ready to adapt. They are waiting for you to challenge them. Exercise number 2. Planks. The core movement that protects your whole body after 60. When most people think about exercise for seniors, they imagine light walking, maybe stretching, or lifting a small dumbbell. Rarely do they think of the plank, holding the body straight, supported only on the forearms and toes. But planks may be one of the most underrated exercises for those over 60, and new science shows they are far more important than we ever realized. Why? Because after the age of 60, your core muscles, the deep abdominal and spinal stabilizers, begin to weaken rapidly. This is not just a cosmetic issue. A weak core leads to a forward-leaning posture, back pain, poor balance, and eventually falls. And as every doctor knows, falls are the #1 cause of injury and death in seniors. In fact, the CDC reports that 1 in 4 adults over 65 falls every year, and hip fractures caused by falls are directly linked to a sharp decline in life expectancy. Planks are the simplest, safest, and most powerful way to fight back. Unlike crunches or sit-ups, which strain the neck and can actually harm the spine, planks engage the entire trunk at once: the abs, the back, the shoulders, even the glutes. This creates a protective corset around your torso, giving your body the stability it desperately needs as you age. A study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research showed that seniors who practiced core stabilization exercises like planks significantly reduced their risk of falls compared to those who did only walking or stretching. Their reaction times improved, their gait became steadier, and even their confidence grew. Because when your core is strong, you walk taller, you move more freely, and you stop living in fear of losing your balance. But the benefits don't stop at preventing falls. Planks also protect your spine from one of the most common age-related conditions, degenerative disc disease. When the muscles supporting the spine are weak, the pressure falls directly on the discs, accelerating wear and tear. Planks distribute this load evenly, reducing strain and preserving mobility for decades. In many rehabilitation clinics, planks are now prescribed to seniors as a frontline defense against chronic back pain. Patients who once relied on painkillers discovered that just holding their body steady for 20 to 30 seconds each day dramatically reduced discomfort. Even more surprising is the effect of planks on internal organs. By tightening the deep abdominal wall, planks improve intra-abdominal pressure, which supports not just the spine, but also digestion and even breathing. Older adults who practice planks report better bowel regularity, stronger coughing reflexes to clear the lungs, and improved ability to take deep, full breaths. This is crucial because respiratory infections remain a leading cause of death among seniors. A strong core literally gives you the power to breathe better and protect yourself against illness. Cognitive benefits are emerging as well. Researchers in Finland studied older adults performing isometric exercises like planks and found that the effort required to maintain the position stimulated brain regions linked to focus and willpower. Seniors who practiced regularly not only scored higher on memory tests, but also reported feeling more resilient and less anxious. It appears that holding still under physical stress trains both the body and the mind to withstand challenges. And perhaps the most inspiring fact: planks require no equipment, no gym, and no special environment. You can do them on the floor of your living room, in your bedroom, even outdoors in the garden. All you need is your body. Start with just a few seconds, and gradually extend the time as your muscles adapt. Over weeks and months, what once felt impossible becomes effortless. That sense of progress, of proving to yourself that you are still strong, still capable, is one of the most powerful motivators in aging well. Planks may not look dramatic. They don't make you sweat buckets or race across the room. But in their quiet simplicity, they hold the secret to protecting everything that matters after 60. Your balance, your spine, your breathing, your independence. Walking keeps you moving. Planks keep you standing tall while you do it. And that difference could very well be the reason you reach 90, 95, or even 100 with strength still in your body and confidence still in your stride. Exercise number 3. Swimming, the lifelong medicine for joints, heart, and brain. If squats give you strength and planks protect your stability, swimming is the exercise that heals and restores your entire body after 60. Water has always been called nature's medicine, and when you combine it with movement, it becomes one of the most powerful anti-aging therapies available. Unlike walking, which can strain the knees and hips over time, swimming is completely low impact. The buoyancy of the water supports up to 90% of your body weight, meaning your joints are protected while your muscles still work hard. This is critical because osteoarthritis affects nearly half of all adults over 65, making land-based exercise painful or even impossible for many. But in the pool, pain fades away, replaced by freedom of motion you may not have felt in decades. Scientists have been fascinated by this phenomenon. A study published in the International Journal of Aquatic Research and Education tracked seniors who swam regularly compared to those who only walked. The swimmers had significantly stronger cardiovascular endurance, better balance, and even improved bone mineral density despite the lack of impact. Their risk of falls was nearly 30% lower. Another study from the University of South Carolina revealed something even more remarkable. Seniors who swam had a 49% lower risk of death from all causes compared to non-swimmers. That is almost half the risk, just by spending time in the water. But the benefits of swimming are not just physical. Water stimulates the nervous system in unique ways. The cool temperature and gentle resistance of the water activate sensory nerves all over the skin, sending signals to the brain that improve coordination and focus. Many seniors report feeling sharper and calmer after just 20 minutes in the pool. In fact, a growing body of evidence suggests that swimming enhances blood flow to the brain even more effectively than walking, helping preserve memory and lower the risk of dementia. Neurologists are now calling swimming cognitive therapy in motion. The heart may benefit the most of all. Swimming forces you to regulate your breathing, inhaling deeply and exhaling under control. This strengthens the lungs, improves oxygen efficiency, and lowers blood pressure naturally. For seniors with heart disease, swimming is often prescribed as a safe, sustainable form of rehabilitation. In one clinical trial, older adults with high blood pressure who swam 3 times a week lowered their systolic pressure by an average of 9 points in just 3 months. Results comparable to medication, but achieved without side effects. And then there is the emotional impact. Swimming reconnects you with the childlike joy of being in the water, floating, gliding, feeling weightless. It reduces stress hormones, boosts endorphins, and relieves anxiety. Seniors who swim regularly consistently report better sleep, less depression, and a deeper sense of well-being. Imagine aging not with stiffness and fear, but with the ease and serenity of moving through water like you did when you were young. That is the gift swimming offers. The beauty of swimming is that it adapts to every level. You don't need to be a professional or even swim laps. Gentle water aerobics, walking in the shallow end, or simply practicing floating can all deliver extraordinary benefits. For those with mobility issues, the pool becomes not just a gym, but a sanctuary where movement feels safe again. Every motion you perform in the water, every kick, every reach, every breath, is an act of renewal for your joints, your heart, your lungs, and your brain. Swimming is more than exercise. It is medicine, therapy, and joy all in one. For seniors over 60, it is the closest thing we have to a fountain of youth, a way to keep moving, keep breathing, and keep living with vitality for decades to come. Exercise number 4. Tai Chi, the ancient practice that restores balance and extends life. At first glance, Tai Chi may not even look like exercise. The slow, flowing movements, The gentle shifts of weight, the graceful turns of the hands. It seems almost like a dance in slow motion. But don't be fooled. For seniors over 60, Tai Chi is one of the most powerful longevity tools ever studied. In fact, researchers at the Shanghai University of Sport found that older adults who practice Tai Chi just 3 times a week reduced their risk of falls by nearly 50%. That is not just a small improvement. It's the difference between living independently and facing life-altering injury. Why is Tai Chi so effective? Because it directly targets the skills that fade fastest with age: balance, coordination, and body awareness. Walking may move your legs forward and back, but it does little to train your ability to shift weight from side to side, to react when you stumble, or to control your center of gravity. Tai Chi forces the brain and the body to work together in harmony, rehearsing hundreds of tiny adjustments that prepare you for real-life challenges. Step on an uneven sidewalk, catch your toe on a rug, lose your footing on the stairs. Tai Chi gives your body the reflexes to recover instead of fall, but the benefits extend beyond balance. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine revealed that Tai Chi also strengthens leg muscles, lowers blood pressure, and improves cholesterol levels. Seniors practicing regularly saw increases in both bone density and flexibility, two critical defenses against the aging process. Even more fascinating, brain imaging studies show that Tai Chi practitioners have greater activity in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making, focus, and memory. That means every graceful movement is not only protecting your body, but also sharpening your mind. Tai Chi is often called meditation in motion, and for good reason. The breathing patterns and mindful focus reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that accelerates aging and inflammation. Seniors who practice consistently report better sleep, fewer mood swings, and lower levels of anxiety. For many, Tai Chi becomes more than an exercise routine. It becomes a morning ritual that sets the tone for the entire day, calming the mind while energizing the body. Unlike other exercises, Tai Chi is infinitely adaptable. You don't need strength, speed, or athletic skill. You can practice standing or even sitting if mobility is limited. Movements can be made smaller or larger depending on your ability. And because it requires no equipment, you can do it anywhere, in your living room, in the garden, or even at the park with friends. This accessibility is one reason Tai Chi has become a cornerstone of senior wellness programs worldwide. And here is something truly inspiring. Studies conducted in China, where Tai Chi has been practiced for centuries, show that seniors who incorporate it into their weekly routine live longer, healthier lives. They experience fewer hospitalizations, lower rates of chronic disease, and greater independence well into their 80s and 90s. In fact, Tai Chi has been officially recommended by the American Geriatric Society as a fall prevention strategy, one of the few exercises to earn such recognition. When you see a group of older adults moving slowly, gracefully, in perfect silence at sunrise, it may look like nothing more than tradition. But what you are actually witnessing is one of the most scientifically validated anti-aging practices in the world. Tai Chi is proof that sometimes the slowest movements bring the greatest power, the power to keep you standing tall, calm, and vibrant as the years pass. Exercise number 5. Resistance training. The hidden key to reversing age-related decline. When people think of seniors exercising, they imagine light walking, maybe stretching, or gentle yoga. Very few imagine lifting weights. Yet resistance training, using dumbbells, resistance bands, or even your own body weight, is perhaps the single most powerful tool for turning back the biological clock after 60. Why? Because after midlife, the body begins to lose muscle mass at a rate of 3 to 5% per decade. This condition, known as sarcopenia, is more than just weakness. It is a direct predictor of disability, dependence, and premature death. The frightening truth is that muscle loss begins quietly, without pain, and by the time many notice, they have already lost 30 to 40% of their strength. Walking, as healthy as it is, cannot stop this process. Only resistance training can. Studies from Tufts University have shown that seniors in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s who performed resistance training 2 to 3 times per week not only regained muscle, but also reversed decades of decline. In one famous study, Frail nursing home residents with an average age of 87 doubled their walking speed and tripled their leg strength after just 8 weeks of resistance exercises. These were individuals who could barely rise from a chair before the program began. Imagine that transformation, going from frailty to independence in a matter of weeks. That is the raw power of resistance training, and it's not just about muscles. Stronger muscles mean stronger bones. Every time you push or pull against resistance, you are signaling your bones to hold on to their density. This is critical for seniors, especially women, who face skyrocketing risk of osteoporosis after menopause. Resistance training is now recognized as one of the most effective natural treatments for osteoporosis, often outperforming medication. By building strong muscles and bones together, you create a fortress against the fractures that so often rob seniors of their independence. The heart benefits too. Many assume lifting weights is dangerous for older adults, but the opposite is true when done properly. Resistance training improves circulation, lowers blood pressure, and enhances insulin sensitivity, dramatically reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes, a disease that affects nearly 1 in 4 adults over 65. In fact, a study in diabetes care found that seniors who engaged in resistance training cut their risk of developing diabetes by nearly 1/3. At the same time, their cholesterol profiles improved, lowering the risk of heart attack and stroke. Perhaps most exciting is the effect on the brain. Scientists at the University of British Columbia discovered that seniors who lifted weights twice a week experienced measurable improvements in memory and executive function, the skills you use to plan, organize, and make decisions. The brain scans of these participants showed increased activity in regions most vulnerable to Alzheimer's disease. That means resistance training is not just about building a stronger body. It may literally build a stronger brain, but what's even more inspiring is how accessible resistance training can be. You don't need a gym full of machines or heavy barbells. A simple set of resistance bands, small dumbbells, or even just your own body weight is enough. Push-ups against the wall, seated band pulls, gentle arm curls, all of these count. Progression is the secret. Start light, stay consistent, and gradually increase resistance as your muscles adapt. The body will respond at any age. Whether you are 60 or 90, think about it. What separates the 90-year-old who walks into the room tall and confident from the one who needs help with every step? The difference is muscle. And resistance training is the only way to rebuild what time has taken. Walking keeps you moving, but resistance training keeps you powerful. Together, they form the foundation of true longevity. If you want to live not just long, but strong, resistance training is not optional. It is essential. Walking is good, but after 60, good is no longer enough. If you want to live not just longer, but better, you need more. Squats give you the foundation of strength, the ability to rise and move without fear. Planks protect your spine, your balance, and even your memory. Swimming heals your joints and expands your lungs, turning movement into medicine. Tai Chi trains your reflexes, calms your mind, and lowers your risk of falls more than any pill ever could. And resistance training rebuilds what age tries to steal, the muscle and bone that keep you powerful, independent, and alive. Together, these 5 exercises form a blueprint for longevity that walking alone can never deliver. Science proves it. From Harvard to Shanghai, from nursing homes to Olympic training centers, the evidence is the same. Those who challenge their bodies with strength, balance, and mindful movement live longer, healthier, sharper lives. Imagine yourself at 80, 90, even 100, not sitting in a chair waiting for help, but standing tall, climbing stairs, swimming laps, laughing with family, and living each day fully. That is not a dream. It is a choice. You don't need hours in the gym. You don't need to become an athlete. All it takes is commitment, a few minutes a day, a few days a week, repeated with patience. Your body is ready. Your muscles are waiting. Your brain is eager to be challenged. Age does not define your future. Your choices do. And with these 5 exercises, you are not just adding years to your life. You are adding life to your years. So I'll leave you with this. Which of these exercises will you start today? And where are you watching from? Share your story in the comments. And let's inspire each other to live not just longer, but stronger. Because after 60, every choice counts. And these choices could carry you to 100 and beyond.